Welcome back to FM Story. We ended the last episode with a couple of promising results. A pretty comfortable victory over Besiktas and a 1-1 draw against PSG, which could have been a win had we not given away a late penalty. That was after a pretty dismal run of games opening the episode where we lost 5 out of 7 to begin with, before slightly picking up towards the end there. We have changed the formation to see if we can be a bit more solid. The players forced that, so we are still in a relatively secure job, but we do need to start firing ourselves up that league table if we're not going to get sacked before the end of the season. The Europa League's going okay. We've won 3 from 4 in the Europa League. We're in 6th in the league phase, so we're in a pretty strong position going into the second half of the league phase, try and make it into the knockouts. So without further ado, get into the action. We've made it into the middle of December. We've got a big game coming up in the Europa League against Porto. We've got a few injury issues, and we have enjoyed continuation to the upturn in form that we had at the end of the last episode. It did look originally like we were going to be, it was only going to be a temporary one in terms of the first league game after the end of the last episode, but things have picked up again. We have managed to push ourselves up the table a bit. As you can see, the finances have gone up a bit because what I've done is sold a load of transfer clauses to give us some money to try and spend when January comes round again. We ended the last episode with that 1-1 draw against PSG. We then started this episode with a dreadful performance against Auxerre. I mean, it was a pretty dull first half. They scored twice in the second half, and the fact that our best players were our goalkeeper, our 2 centre-halves, and our left-back tells you everything you need to know about that game. We then went into the next Europa League game against Slovan Bratislava and were pretty outstanding in the first half. We were 2-0 up at half-time, grabbed a third just after the hour, and then it was a bit squeaky bum time in the second half. Luckily, their second goal came too late to make us really panic. We then had a really comfortable 3-0 victory against Nantes. It did look in the first half as though we were going to waste chances, but in the second half, we took them all. Unfortunately, we lost Tolisso through injury there. And in the most recent game, we won 1-0 away from home against Lorient. Early-ish header from Niakate from a corner. I mean, again, we're looking pretty decent at the back, but going forward, we're not the most, we're not converting enough chances. We probably, ideally, we would be looking at someone to play through the middle in the January transfer window if we can afford it. What it does mean in the league is that we have jumped up to 11th. We've got 18 points from 15 games. So we're in and around the teams above us, sort of Monaco, Nice. Another couple of wins to push us up towards the European spots would be nice. The one concern I do have is that those last 2 games we've won against Nantes, who are rooted to the bottom of the table, and Lorient, who are just outside the playoff spot. Hopefully it's not just because they were really bad that we are starting to climb the table. And then obviously we've got a game against Porto, so we have a lot of players out. Tolisso definitely out. We've got players that are probably not even going to make fitness tests. And the biggest area we've got concern in the team is at left back. Because both Tagliafico and Abner Vinicius have been out injured for a couple of weeks already. As far as the Europa League is concerned, we are doing pretty well. We're in 4th. We've got 4 wins out of 5. And another win would go a long way towards making sure that we qualify for the knockout stages and that we hopefully finish in the top 8 so we don't have to play in the playoff round. Let's see if we can pick up a result at home against Porto with a bit of a weakened team. So this is the side we've picked for the Porto game. Obviously, as we said, we're missing Tagliafico and Abner Vinicius, who both weren't ready for fitness tests. So Ainsley Maitland-Niles is playing left back. Marta's playing right back. We've kind of had a rotating cast through the middle. Hendrick was pretty good there in the last game, or the last two games, so he's staying through the middle. And as you can see, the fact that we can't even fill out the bench, we are struggling for numbers at this moment in time. Right, so we're going with the 4-3-3. We are missing Taliso in the middle of the pitch, which is potentially a big miss. They're playing 4-3-3 as well. And we're in a pretty decent position, but a win here would be ideal. Right, they're on an early attack. We've tidied the ball up at the back and then given it to them on the edge of the box. We are already struggling to get out here. This opening minute is not exactly a sign we want to see ahead of the game, because if it carries on like this, we're in big trouble. And I'm hoping that that's offside. He looked like he might be slightly offside. But it looks like it's been given. It has. Tight. I love the way that when you see the highlight, it's judged off his back foot and the defender's front foot. We have not exactly started this game very well. And now they're on the attack again. And we've got it back to the keeper. Don't get caught on the ball in our own box. And we just pump the ball straight back to them. That's a great block by Niakate. Corner. We've got a head on it, but this is just one-way traffic at the minute. Well, that was far too easy. So, this is dismal. How have we... How have we managed to perform like this in this game? We are just... We've got it, and then giving it over. Sulch is in on the left. It's the byline. Now we've got corner. Morton to take it. Got the head on it at the near post, but couldn't keep it down. We're trying to get ourselves back into this, but we can't afford to waste chances like those two we've just wasted. They've gone back to the keeper. We're not getting close to the ball at all. Well, we've won it there. Sulch for the run of Hendrick. And that's another glorious chance we've wasted. And now they've gone up the other end. This is like a team of grown-ups playing against a team of kids, the way this game is going so far. We've managed to work up to Hendrick, Mangala, out to Maitland-Niles on the left. The run of Sulch. And again, they've managed to keep it out. We've got a head on that one. Now for Fafana to bring it forwards. Marta, back to Fafana. That's offside. The cracking finish. But he's a mile offside, surely. Yeah. So the one time we are able to actually put the ball in the back of the net, I think it's disallowed. Yeah. It was always going to be offside. And it's just, why can't they finish like that when they're through onside? And now they've gone up the other end from that free kick. And thankfully, I did think that was in. Thankfully, they've managed to miss the target. That was a pretty dreadful first half. Where do you even start with that? Right, we made 2 changes at half time. Marta was knackered, so Hatterbo's come on, and Hendrick was dreadful. So we brought Yaremchuk on to see if he can actually do something. It's them on the attack again. Oh my god. We are literally just all over the place. Right, we've won it back and then given it away straight away. How do we fix this? If I thought we had a realistic chance of getting back into it, I'd probably throw men forward. But ultimately, that's going to lead to us getting hammered. Right. Desperate times call for some desperate measures to see if we can get something. Go on to the back post. Near Carty. Goes back to Maitland-Niles. Finds Moreira, who's just come on the left-hand side. Still going. Squares it. Kimber, who is the one player we've had that played through the centre that has been a goal threat through the centre. He just isn't on paper as good as everyone else, but he seems to be working. And the question is that just a consolation goal, or is it actually going to spur a bit of a comeback? We have gone a lot more direct. Throwing players forward, get the ball forward quickly from the kick-off. It is going to leave us a lot more open at the back, though, as we've just seen there. Yeah. That was the gamble we took with the changes we've made. This is about as bad a performance as we've had all season, to be honest. Right, a late corner for them as we tick into injury time. We've got a head on it, but then, the sooner this game is over, the better. And there we are, full time. A truly horrendous performance. I mean, the thing is, though, Right? They had 25 shots in that game, 11 on target. We had 20, 11 on target. Yeah, we just wasted them. There was those chances in the first half where the keeper made some decent saves. But yeah, that is not acceptable at all. We've made it to the beginning of February, and despite some decent results, the performances just aren't there. We obviously, last thing we saw was that hammering by Porto. We had at least one more hammering in the league, this time by Monaco since then. We have done some business in the transfer market. So, in terms of signing, the only signing we've made is we've brought in Diego Leite from Union Berlin, 3.5 million. It was a very necessary signing as soon as the transfer window started, because we were missing Clinton Marta and Niakate because of the African Cup of Nations. And then in terms of the outgoings, there has been some. We did try to free up some money to do some more business in the transfer market, but whilst we could agree fees with clubs, none of the players that we tried to sign were interested in signing for us. So we've Emre Katonde's left on a free transfer. Ivan Konan has gone for up to 1.5 million. And the big one was Abner Vinicius, who's gone out for up to 7.25 million. Since that hammering against Porto, we had a couple of decent games. We won 4-0 really comfortably in the league against Le Havre. And then we made a bit of a meal of beating Villefranche in our first round in the Coupe de France, the 9th round. We then got taken apart by Monaco 4-1 away from home, which was a really bad result. We played really well against Brest and came away with a 2-0 victory. As expected, a comfortable victory over Cannes at 8-1 in the 10th round of the Coupe de France. Then a game against Ludogorets that was goals all over the place. We won 6-3, but we did pick up some injuries in that game. We then just could not get the ball in the back of the net against Metz. Wasted a load of chances in that one. And then in the most recent game, which was the last game of the Europa League phase, we ended up drawing 1-1. We got off to a flying start and then just weren't good enough in the second half to get ourselves back in front after their injury time equaliser at the end of the first half. Now, what that then meant was that we ended up finishing 9th in the league phase by virtue of the fact that we'd scored a goal less than Samsunspor, which means we go into the knockout playoff round where we've been drawn against Shakhtar. So not what we would have wanted, but at least we're still in the competition. We're in the knockout stages. We just need to pick things up from there. As far as the league's concerned, we're in 10th, but we're starting to drop away quite a bit from the European spots. So we need to pick up our form in the league, otherwise the job's going to be gone before we get to the end of the season. We've got Lille next, who are just outside the European spots. They're on 32 points, so they're quite a way ahead of us. But hopefully we can pick up 3 points and close the gap on them and push ourselves up the table a bit. So following those last two less than brilliant results and performances, we have opted to change things up slightly. We are going with a back three now that we have Kluivert, Leite and Niakate in. Maitland-Niles is playing right wing back, Tagliafico left wing back, Liso and Tessman in front of them, and then a front three of Hendrik on the right, Fofana on the left, and Remy Himbert through the middle, because he's still the only one that we can kind of trust to get some goals. We didn't exactly do well against Lille in the first game against them in the league, and Giroud was the problem for us in that game. So hopefully we can keep him quiet in this one. As you can see, we've gone for the back three with a couple of players in front of it. They're playing a 4-2-3-1. Right, a free kick for them into the box. We've got a head on it. And they've had a long shot. We're going to pick up that loose ball. Fofana now bringing it clear. Hendrick in acres of space on the right, into the box, holds it up, gets onto his left foot, and then lashes it into the top corner. Great counter attack, and we've taken the lead. And Fofana does great, gets on the end of that loose ball after the block, brings it forward, spots Hendrick, takes it in well, just waits, lets them get back. But that then allows him to shift it onto his left foot and then just smash it past the keeper from about 7 or 8 yards. We've had a lot of the ball so far in this first half, which I wasn't necessarily expecting with the change in formation. Right, Maitland-Niles into Fofana, Tolisso, Maitland-Niles. Fofana loses it on the edge of their box. And now they're looking to break. Cross in. Thankfully, Giroud gets under it and heads it over the bar. That was a bit too easy for him to be found in the middle of the box there. It's gone to Hendrick at the back on the right wing, out to Tolisso, Maitland-Niles, back to Hendrick. Kluivert goes long, looking for Himber, who gets control of it, and the keeper makes a save. A free kick for them in a dangerous position here. It's going to get whipped into the box. We've got a head on it, the edge of the box, they've got it. We've managed to block that shot well. And we've been pretty solid at the back there. We've managed to test their keeper a lot. We've had 8 shots and 7 of them have been on target. But other than that, it looks like it's like if you look at this match stats, it's a relatively even game. Right, we've been forced into a change at half time. Tagliafico's struggling, so Maitland-Niles has moved across to the left, and Hatterbor's come on at right wing back. Here he is, down the line, and that's cut out, and they just keep it from going for a corner. But now they're looking to attack down our left. And now they look to get in behind Hatterbor, now on our right. And thankfully Giroud's header hits the bar and goes over. And from the goal kick, we've gone long, and it's just going to come straight back at us. Kluivert with a foul. Whipped into the box again. We've got a head on it again. And then the shot from the edge of the area comes back off the bar. Hendrick wins it back and manages to bring it clear for us. We are riding our luck touch with those free kicks into the box. More so with the second ball than the actual cross in. Now a corner for them. Deep. It was all the way over the top. That's taken Mane. Maitland-Niles tries to bring it clear and then gives it away. Oh. We've looked relatively secure. So what we do is we run out to the touchline, and rather than playing it inside the man on the corner of the box who's free, we try and take the forward on. Yeah, throw in for them. And we've just disintegrated. Simple ball. We just let the runner go. Near Carty. Forward for Sulch. Maitland-Niles. Goes past his man, drives into the box. Decides to fall over the ball rather than passing it. Morton, Taliso, Sulch. Fafana scores, levels it at 2-2. I mean, it's almost as if we've suddenly woken up. Not sure quite what that checks for. It's clearly onside. And good finish from Fafana as well. Near Carty with the ball at the back. Morton. Out to Maitland-Niles. Sulch. Sulch again, starting to get involved since he's come on. Fafana lays it off at Hendrick, back to Fafana. And he's just dragged it wide of the far post. He's got the ball in our half again. Managed to win the header there. Morton then picks it up. Fafana. Taliso. Morton again. Out to Maitland-Niles on the left. Sulch in the box. Low ball in. And how's he not hit the target? It had a ball with a throw. Fafana. Turns, whips it in low to the near post. Hendrick squares it. And Maitland-Niles skies it into the top tier of the stand. There we are, full time 2-2. And if you take out the 10 minutes where we conceded the 2 goals, we were actually not too bad. But probably about a fair reflection of the game, I think. Although, again, we've wasted some big chances there towards the end of the game where we could have won it. And there we are, the end of episode 3 of The Save, and things just haven't really improved this first season. We are still in the Europa League, we're in the knockout stages, that's great. We have to play the extra couple of games of the playoff round, not so great. We are in the Coupe de France still, so those were the 2 aims for the season. However, unless we improve the league form, there's a very good chance that we might not make it to the end of the season. We need to start picking up points and start climbing that league table, both to try and keep a hold of the job, and also if we start playing well in the league, start winning games there, it can only breed confidence going into the cup competitions that we are actually trying to win this season. So join us in the next episode where we'll have the knockout playoff round of the Europa League against Shakhtar. Hopefully we're into the next round after that. We do have some big games in the league, including games against Marseille and Paris FC as well. And hopefully a chance to get revenge on Monaco for hammering us 4-1 in this episode. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.